Most people see a person sitting alone and assume they're lonely, sad, or perhaps a little bit broken. In a world that never stops talking, the choice to seek out silence is often misunderstood as a flaw or a social deficit, but psychology suggests something entirely different. If you are someone who genuinely enjoys your own company, you aren't just antisocial, you are likely operating with a unique psychological blueprint. Research indicates that those who thrive in solitude often possess a set of cognitive and emotional advantages that the average person struggles to develop. You aren't missing out on the world, you're experiencing it through a more refined lens. Today, we're going to explore the 5 rare strengths found in those who prefer to be alone, and why your need for space might actually be your greatest competitive advantage. The first rare strength you likely possess is a high level of emotional self-regulation. While many people rely on external distractions or the presence of others to soothe their anxiety or boredom, you have learned to process your internal world independently. Psychology shows that individuals comfortable with solitude have a lower baseline for external stimulation, meaning they don't need constant noise to feel okay. When life gets chaotic, you don't panic and reach for a phone or a crowd. You turn inward. This ability to sit with your own discomfort without needing someone else to fix it makes you incredibly resilient. You've mastered the art of being your own anchor in a storm. Secondly, you likely have a heightened sense of self-awareness that others lack. When you spend time alone, you aren't just doing nothing. Your brain is engaging in what psychologists call autobiographical planning. Without the social pressure to perform or fit in, you have the mental space to analyze your own values, mistakes, and goals. This is why you might feel like you know yourself better than your peers know themselves. You've done the hard work of looking in the mirror without blinking. This clarity allows you to make decisions based on your true identity, rather than following the latest trend or the loudest voice in the room. The third rare quality is a deep capacity for observation and empathy. It sounds like a contradiction. How can being alone make you better with people? But research suggests that because you aren't constantly drained by small talk, you have more mental bandwidth to observe human behavior. You notice the subtle shifts in a friend's tone or the hidden tension in a room that others miss because they're too busy talking. When you do choose to socialize, your interactions are often more meaningful and empathetic because you are viewing the world from a place of stillness rather than a place of social hunger. You aren't looking for what people can give you. You're observing who they actually are. Fourth, you likely possess an internal locus of control. In psychology, this means you believe that you are the primary driver of your life, rather than being a victim of circumstance. People who fear being alone often seek constant validation from others to feel successful or worthy. But because you are comfortable in your own company, your sense of worth comes from within. You don't need a like on a photo or a compliment from a colleague to know you've done a good job. This independence makes you less susceptible to peer pressure and more likely to pursue unconventional paths that lead to genuine fulfillment. Finally, those who prefer solitude often have a rare creative autonomy. Think about the greatest thinkers, artists, and innovators throughout history. Almost all of them required periods of deep isolation to produce their best work. When you are alone, your brain's default mode network activates, allowing for the kind of nonlinear thinking that leads to aha moments. While others are busy conforming to the group's ideas, your mind is free to wander into original territory. Your solitude is the laboratory where your most unique ideas are born. If you've spent your life feeling weird because you'd rather stay in with a book than go to a loud party, it's time to stop apologizing. Your preference for being alone isn't a wall you've built to keep the world out. It's a sanctuary you've built to keep your spirit intact. You have a depth of character and a level of mental independence that many people will spend their entire lives trying to find. Your quietness isn't a lack of something. It's the presence of a very rare and powerful self-sufficiency. Remember, the goal of life isn't to be known by everyone. It's to be known deeply by yourself. This perspective resonated with you today. Consider joining our community by subscribing. We explore the hidden layers of personality and the psychological truths that help you understand who you really are. You aren't alone in your love for solitude, and there is so much more to discover about the person you are becoming. Would you like to see more insights into